Okay, next week is the practice exam. When the practice exam comes out, you need to understand everything on the practice exam. If not, come in, ask for help. Join me in Zoom, stay after our toolkit review session, and make sure you understand everything. Okay, and then we're going to have a test week 5. So this is week 3, and our test is week 5. Excuse me. Any questions before we get started? You don't need to see me right now. And I apologize for the coughing. I don't have corona. Okay. Did I tell you guys I tested? I don't have corona. Everyone has this little cold. Okay, good. Everyone has this little cold, and I have asthma. So my daughters are like, I think I have a cold. Okay, I'm better. And then I cough forever. Okay, so I'll probably be coughing for several weeks. Okay, enough about me. Let's dig in to week 3. All right. So, number 1, hopefully in your lessons, you have learned a theorem that the sum of the 3 angles of a triangle. First of all, what does the word sum mean? Sum means I'm going to do what with the 130 and the 25 and the missing one? What does sum mean? Awkward pause. Add, ding, ding, ding. Thank you. The sum of the 3 angles of a triangle is equal to, does anyone remember? How much do I get if I add the 3 angles of a triangle? Now, I'm not saying how much is it if you add 2. If I add all 3, one of them is missing. Ding, ding, ding. Thank you. 180. That is a theorem. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so a missing number, if I don't know the missing number, then I'm going to call it x. X plus 130 plus 25, the sum of the 3 angles of a triangle is equal to 180. Okay, let's practice solving an equation. Now, I know you're thinking, can I just add them together and then just go 180 minus 155? Yes. As long as you show your work, it doesn't have to be in equation form. You can just show your work. Okay, according to the rules of solving equations, what is my next step, please? Ooh. Okay, you know what? I could do that. Yeah. Okay, I know you meant 25. I could do that, but this is the way I do them. My next step is to combine like terms. I clean up the left, I clean up the right with combining like terms, and then I subtract, even though you could subtract them individually. So let's just practice my method. So we're going to combine like terms. So 130 plus 25 is 155. Oh, typo. That's a plus. Sorry, guys. Is equal to 180. It's an 8. Okay, now we're going to isolate the variable. That variable is king. There's his crown, or queen. There's her crown. Okay, and the king is saying, hey, you, what are you doing in my room? I'm not sharing. Okay, so we need to isolate the variable by doing the opposite of the math operation. Sharing is caring, not this time. Not this time. You are funny, but not this time. Okay, so the king says, go away. So how do I make the 155 go away? By the way, I love it when you type in funny things and make me laugh. Otherwise, I just talk the whole time. All right, thank you. Subtract. Okay, subtract 155 from both sides because we have to, very well put, perfectly put. We have to keep the sides balanced. So x is equal to, how much is that? 25. Okay, so we solved for x. We did combine like terms, and then we isolated our variable. Yeah, because it was adding 155. I did the opposite. I subtracted 155. Okay, that's how you do number 1. Number 2. Okay, you have a good point. We're practicing our equations with an easy one. I know you're thinking, wait, Mrs. Watts, can I just go 130 plus 25 is 155, and then 180 minus 155 is 25. There's my answer. Yes. Okay, so that's valid. It looked like a lot of extra steps. So you can either use the equation method, but you're showing your work. Okay, I need you to show your work. Don't just put 25 because you're not going to get full credit for that. So whichever method you do, I know it's annoying. I need you to show your work. Okay, either the just add and then subtract. Well, probably no one's going to do the equation, but at the end of the packet, we're going to be solving equations. So that's why I did it that way. Okay, number 2, you're going to do on your own, or we request it and we'll do it at the end. Okay, number 3. Excuse me. Now we're going to classify the triangles by angles. Okay, if it has one right angle, then it is a right triangle. Now that could actually be noted either by 90 degrees or a box could also say. And you are correct. You're ahead of me. I'm going too slow, huh? So angles, if it has a right triangle, what if it has one angle greater than 90? Yeah. What do we call it? Hold on to that word you just said. We're going to get to that in just a second. Okay, thank you. Obtuse. If it has one angle greater than 90, it is an obtuse triangle. Now, if it has 3 small angles, 3 angles less than 90, it sounds like you're sneezing. That's right. It is not ugly. It is acute. Yeah, it has these cute little angles, and it sounds like you're sneezing. Acute. Okay, so right, obtuse, or acute. You guys are like, we learned this in 8th grade. Anyway, we're reviewing. Now, sides. If it has 3 congruent sides, okay, in Latin sounds similar. Spanish is Latin based. So it sounds like 3 equal lados, right? The Spanish word for side actually is helpful if you happen to know the Spanish word for side. It has 3 equal lados. That's really funny. Okay. Thank you. Equilateral. Yeah, you can see the Latin prefix and the Latin root because lateral sounds like lados. Okay, Spanish, French, English, Latin based. Okay, Three congruent sides, equalados. What about two congruent sides? People have a hard time with this one because I don't have a little trick. I just think it sounds like sausages. Here's a sausage. Here's a sausage. It sounds like two sausages, which sounds like the sausage man walking down the street. Thank you. Isosceles. Okay. Two equal sides sounds like is isosceles, sounds like sausage man, sort of. Okay. Zero equal sides, congruent sides. We'll talk about the difference between equal and congruence in a minute. And someone already said it. Thank you, scalene. Now, you guys aren't going to call me this. My first name is Carlene, so I remember scalene because it sounds like Carlene. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to erase this because it's a little cluttered. So I see a 90-degree angle. So we have right and no equal sides. Scalene, right, scalene. Okay. Okay, let's move this over here. I'm not going to go through all that again. Okay, team. So I need 2-word name, one with the angles and one with the sides. Yeah, take a guess, please. Ding, ding, ding. Very good. And I love it when you guess in direct message because then it doesn't give the answer away to everybody else. Okay. I see one big angle. And that angle is not acute. That angle is correct. Obtuse. Isosceles. Now, let's talk about when you guys come in to take your exam. When you come in to take your exam, if you absolutely cannot come in, there is an at-home version, which you don't want to do. It takes you longer. You have to make a video. You don't want to do that. When you come in, you are going to come in to take your exam with your practice exam. Okay. And if there's a blank space on your practice exam, you can fill it with notes. That's why it's so important to understand everything on the practice exam. Okay. You're definitely going to want to have these vocabulary words on your practice exam when you come in to take your exam. Otherwise, you'll blank. Okay. Next. This only has one. This category, awesome, only has one word. Okay. Because if it's this, it also, okay. So it's about the sides. Yeah. This is equilateral. Because if it has equal sides, that forces those angles to be 60 degrees. Because if 3 sides are equal, then 3 angles are equal. And 180 divided by 3 is 60. Anyway, we can talk more about that. I think I might be over-explaining. Number 6. What is this? Careful. Okay, you guys are all right. Scalene. Now, what does this tell us if it has an angle larger than 90 degrees? It is obtuse scalene. Yeah. Now, can you guys see how much better for your brain it is to actively participate than just wait for the answers? Okay. Whenever you're in a math class, stay one step ahead and guess what your instructor is about to say. Sorry. Okay, 7 and 8 are on your own. You're going to need to do those on your own or stick around, request them at the end. Sketch, label, and mark the figure. Isosceles acute triangle, TRN, RT equal to RN. Okay, that's a good question. Okay, is the top angle the one you go off of? Very good question. No, because it could look like this. It does not matter where the obtuse angle is. If any of those are obtuse, it's an obtuse triangle, no matter where it is. Okay, so I have an angle greater than 90 degrees. That would be obtuse. Like this one, if it was this. Now, I could say 90. I could also put a little box. Yeah, let's say that this was 32, 58, 11.2, 13.2, and whatever this is, 7. Notice this one's also right scalene. Anywhere in the triangle, there exists a right angle. So, good question. Okay, number 9. So, isosceles acute. Isosceles acute, and RT is equal to RN. And this is not something you can type into the chat unless you were going to annotate. So here is isosceles acute. See how isosceles kind of looks like sausage man? Looks like legs. Isosceles. Okay, RT is equal to RN. Yeah, so where they meet, that's where we're going to call the R. RT is equal to RN. Now, that bottom line is supposed to be straight. Didn't come out very straight. Okay, now I need to mark it. Sometimes you mark with numbers, but sometimes you put little tick marks showing that sides are equal. So I'm going to put a tick mark here and a tick mark there. That signifies that the measure of RT is equal to the measure of RN. Okay, so that's it for that one. Number 10. Okay, isosceles right triangle. Okay, we're going to draw the right angle first. Isosceles right triangle. So I'm going to put a box. So you can't just say that looks 90 to me. You either have to write 90 in there or put a box. That box signifies that that's a right angle, just like the corner of a room should be a right angle. Or the corner of a rectangle should be a right angle. Okay, now isosceles. These are the legs. And the one over here is the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is always the longest. There's no way a leg could be equal to the hypotenuse, right? So if this is isosceles, it has 2 equal sides. They must be the 2 legs. You cannot have the hypotenuse equal to a leg. The hypotenuse is the side across from the 90, and that must always be the longest side. And we'll talk more about that later. So I think those look equal. Yeah, but we mark them. This side is equal to this side. Now look how big the hypotenuse is. If it's isosceles, the two legs are the equal ones. Yeah, not too bad. Next problem. Okay, so I'm going to draw a scaling triangle, SCL. Scaling triangle. It doesn't say anything about the angles. And one of the angles is going to have an angle bisector. So scaling. That almost looks isosceles. Okay, anyway, it's scaling. Why they come out looking, but because I have not marked them, we know it's not isosceles. Okay, angle S is going to have an angle bisector. So let's make this one S. So S, C, L. Angle S is going to have an angle bisector. So shoot the arrow. S, Y is an angle bisector. But I am not done. We have not marked that this is the angle bisector. So I need to add a couple more marks. So if SY is the angle bisector, then this angle is equal to that angle. That's how we mark that we have congruent angles. Okay, they have equal measure. We put a little arc and we put a little dash mark showing that they're equal. So that's that one. Okay, how are we doing, team? Hanging in there? A lot of vocabulary. Some people like geometry better because of all the vocabulary. Okay, cool. Okay, number 12, sketch, label, and mark the figure. Isosceles acute triangle with base WX and vertex angle Y. So isosceles acute. The base is WX and the vertex angle is Y. So we have WX is the base, angle W and angle X are the base angles, and Y is the vertex. Now, I have not shown that this is isosceles yet, so I put marks. This side equals this side, isosceles. So that's it. Okay, 13. Locate a point L so that LRY is an isosceles triangle. Now, it does not say if RY is the base or a leg. So where are we going to put L? There's two things there's a lot of things we can do. There's like actually an infinite number of answers. So there's two types of triangles. It could be, there's three. This could be acute, obtuse, or right. So anyone have an idea for making an isosceles triangle? Isosceles having, okay, that's honest. Isosceles having two equal sides. Yeah, any ideas? Okay, one way is let's make this acute isosceles. So let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Let's go up here. Yeah, so see if I find that middle line and put L right there, that is acute isosceles. Almost looks equilateral. Or I could go this way, 1, 2, here's that middle line. What if I go all the way down here? Here's another option. That one is definitely horrible. You know, I have a hard time. Oh my goodness, when I draw lines, I really need a straight edge, which I can't do writing on this thing. Okay, so those are acute isosceles. What if I wanted obtuse? Does anyone? I made a kite. I did make a kite. Okay, if you wanted it to be obtuse, you would want to go really low. Can you see that that top angle is now obtuse? Yeah, so if you wanted an obtuse isosceles, you'd make it really low because the more you pull that vertex angle up or down, the more acute it's going to be. So there's an obtuse. Now, some of you, sorry, this is starting to get a little cluttered, may want to do a right. If you, I think I'm going to clutter it. I'm not going to do it here. If you want to see it, we'll talk about it later. And I'm going to do a right one on number 14. Okay, let's go on to number 14. So now I want isosceles right triangle. I need a right angle. Now notice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice if I put it here, if I go down here, that's obtuse. If I go up here, that's acute. Now, somewhere in between those two is a right angle, but that's too hard to do. I don't know how to do that. So this is 10 units. So how could I get isosceles right triangle? Any ideas? Ah, ding, ding, ding. Okay. So I'm going to start at M and I'm going to go 10 units to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. So can you see that that is isosceles? There's a right angle right here. Yeah. Okay. We also have 6, 2. Now that is not, if I go over 6, 2 or 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we're actually at 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 6. Yeah, there's my right angle. Could I also do one, go start at E and go 10 units to the right? I could have one, there's another one I could do. Okay, so you want to do either this one or you could do one here. Yeah, but I'm not going to do a bunch of triangles on overlapping. Okay, so there is an option for isosceles right triangle. If that's confusing, we can talk about that more. Okay. Oh, how do you see the small lines? Yeah. Yeah. Like, was that a 5 or is that a 6? Yeah. Sorry, it gets a little bit messy. Okay, now some of you have strong Algebra 1 skills. Okay, and some of you do not. So we're going to practice solving these equations. So I recommend We don't need to confess. If I recommend, but, oh, okay. Careful, careful. Are you sure? Or is there a tiny little thing you left out? Okay, work ahead of me. If you're strong, there you go, right there. If you're strong in these, don't go slow with me. Work ahead and try to get all 4 of these done. Okay, step 1, I draw a line down my equal sign. You're right, it is negative, by the way. Draw a line down my equal sign, and I'm going to combine like terms. This is like cleaning house. Okay, I have 2 terms that are variable terms. By the way, this one is a constant term. It has no variable. Yeah, so variable as opposed to constant. Variable changes depending on what you plug it in. Constant 12 is 12. Okay. Okay. Well, we can fill in these gaps. So with your calculator, I need you to do -6 minus 6. Okay. Or we can go keep, change, change. And I get -12. Yeah, notice I lost 6 pounds and then I lost another 6 pounds. I wish. But anyway, losing 6 and losing 6 again is altogether -12V. And you are welcome to use a calculator for that. When you come in to take your exam, you're going to use my calculator, unless you bring your own. And if there's any buttons you don't know how to use, like what's the difference? The negative button is actually different from the subtract button. So we'll talk about that before you start your test. Okay. No phone calculator on the test because you won't be using your phone during the test. The exam is in 2 weeks. Yeah, no phone calculator. Sorry about that. The phone is too powerful, too smart. No. You're good. You're good. You're going to be fine. Okay, so now I did combine like terms and now isolate. Okay, time for my Taylor Swift imitation. Notice there is an empty space. Yeah, -12V. There is an empty space between the 12 and the V. Okay, I've got an empty space, baby. I'll write your name. There's my Taylor Swift imitation. Okay, if there is an empty space between the -12 and the V, it's like there's parentheses. That empty space implies multiplication. So in order to isolate my variable, I need to divide by -12. That is not V minus 12. That is -12 times V. The negatives cancel, the 12s cancel. 12 divided by -12 is -1. Let's go ahead and lead with our variable. There we go. Next. 16, draw a line down the equal sign, clean the house. Okay. Step 1, combine like terms. We're cleaning the house. So I see like terms, X's and X's, both on the left side of the equal sign. So we're going to combine those. -3 plus 5 is awesome. Actually, let me peek. I don't know what the answer to this is. Yes, correct. Awesome. -3 plus 5x is 2x. Yeah, we cleaned house. Combine like terms. Ooh, awesome. You guys are fast. Perfect. Keep working ahead of me. Step 2, we are going to isolate the variable. Okay, we're going to need to get rid of the 2 and the -3. So we're using the order of operations backwards. The number that's loosely attached is the 3. So we're going to add 3 to both sides. The opposite of subtracting 3 is adding 3. So -3 plus 3, poof, 0. Those two cancel out. So now the next step in isolating the variable, I have an empty space between my 2 and my x. That means that is multiply. So we do the opposite. We divide by 2. X is equal to 6. Awesome. Number 17. What is what? The equation, number 17? Okay, that's a very long equation. Oh, awesome. Keep going fast. You know what? If these equations are easy peasy, you can go. Okay, you can stay and watch me. But if you're done, like you don't need any more help, then you can just say goodbye. I'll see you next week. But I would love for you to stick around. Step 1, combine like terms. Yeah, let's look at the left. Yes, yes. Okay, we are officially done. Thank you for joining me. Okay, goodbye. Thanks for coming. -8 minus 5. Okay, with our calculator, -8 minus 5. Keep change is -13. That's not an X. Sorry, typo. That's a B. I think the variable should always be X. Ah, awesome. Okay, you're ahead of me. Let's combine like terms over here. -7 take away 1 is -8. I lost $7 and I lost 1 more. -7 minus 5 is -12b. Okay, so I did a lot of house cleaning, combining like terms. Notice I don't combine across the equal sign. Okay, next step, isolate your variable. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this side, even though it's more negatives. I don't know, it's just already alone. So the B over here, this guy right here is on the wrong side. I am isolating the variable. That means I want my B's over here and my constant terms, my numbers over here. So in order to move the minus 12b, I'm going to add 12b to both sides. Cancel. Now, negative 13 plus 12, I can see that my negatives are more powerful. Negative 1b is equal to negative 8. Last step, divide by negative 1. B is equal to 8. Correct. Okay, combine like terms, isolate your variable. Common theme. Okay, number 18, you're either going to do on your own or you're going to request it at the end. Let's talk about 19. This one might be on your Canvas quiz. Where did I get this one? Might be from your Canvas quiz. Okay. Step 2, combine like terms. Can anyone tell me what step 1 is? Ding, ding, ding. Distribute. 6x minus 15 plus 4x minus 8 is equal to 32. Awesome. Draw a line down the equal sign. So this was, I'm going to call it distribute. Alrighty, combine like terms. Here are my variable terms, and here are my constant terms. So my variables, I have 10x. My constants, negative 15 minus 8, down 15, down 8 more, is that 23? Excuse me? Okay, step 3, isolate. Add 23 to both sides. And we get 55. Very often, the last step of solving an equation is divide. Now, the higher you get in math, the less likely you are to change it to a decimal. So we could divide by 5, 11 over 2, or 5.5, whatever the directions say. So not this one, because you have to reduce. So x is 11 over 2 or 5.5, whatever the directions say. I don't want to box that one because it involves an unreduced fraction. Okay, number 20. Little bit of pre-algebra, foundations math. What is 10% of 60? I'm going to take 10%, change it to a decimal of is multiply, or you could do is over of, write a proportion, cross multiply. Okay. What is 10% of 60? 6. Well, that is super interesting. I think I like, okay, thanks for coming. See you next week. I think I like 10%. If 10% of 60 is 6, then what's 20% going to be? Without using a calculator. Hello, welcome. 20%. Let's see what happens. Oh, look at that. Look how percents work. That's 12. Now, if 10% of 60 is 6, do we have a guess on what 5% is going to be? 0.05 times 60 equals 3. Notice that my pen is dying. It's half of this one. Yeah, 3. So percents are really cool the way they work. Okay, that's it. Any requests for problems that I have skipped? Okay, thanks for coming. You are welcome. Have a good day.